welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the baby elephant community. You've just stumbled across the greatest community on YouTube. This is the place you've been looking for that will help you to improve yourself, your relationships, and your overall life and well-being. So if you are new or if you're returning and haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the baby elephant community so that you don't miss out on any new videos. We are just going to keep moving around my apartment until I find a place where we can start shooting again, and then I'm going to make the background beautiful like it used to be. I know some of you are very upset that we don't have the Himalayan salt lamps anymore. They're coming back, I promise. I'm excited about today's topic because it's something that's really fun to me. I think it's really interesting. We're going to talk about inspired action, taking inspired action. There are many different ways, different techniques and methods to practice and to use the power of the law of attraction. But in all these methods, in all the ways that we've practiced, one thing is ubiquitous across all of them. At some point, we have to learn to let go. When we let go, when we give up worrying, when we give up trying to micromanage our desires, that's where the magic happens. If you're unfamiliar with the topic of detaching or letting go, or if you need a refresher, I have several videos on the topic and I'll list them in the description below, so check that out. So a question that I get asked all the time in different words is, okay, so I've asked for something that I wanted, I let go, and now what? Now what do I do? We already know that to kickstart a manifestation, something that's really good to do is to get into flow state. But what you also want to do is you want to start to prepare to take inspired action. Inspired action is a sudden urge or an idea, a thought, a desire, or a hunch to take some sort of action. It could be completely random and separate from what you're trying to manifest, or it could be very relevant to it. This inspired action will eventually lead you to your greater good. For example, you might be manifesting your dream career. An inspired action that could arise is you suddenly feel like texting an old friend, emailing an old colleague, or maybe even just going out for a cup of coffee. That old friend then directs you to somebody who could get you that job, or that old colleague now works where you want to work and can set up an interview for you. Or going out for coffee ends up with you meeting somebody from the industry. Those are all ways in which inspired action can strike, the call for action can strike, and there's literally an endless possibilities of how this could happen for you. Inspired action is often little thoughts, ideas, or hunches that we often shake off and we don't follow. We often dismiss these thoughts. We're just used to habitually waving them off and not pursuing them. I recommend to follow these little hunches, to pursue them and see where they lead you. Inspired action can come in so many different forms, in the form of a thought, a sign, a conversation with another person, hearing something in a movie or reading something, a repeating pattern, really in so many different ways. This call to action can come from so many different places from the universe, and because of that, you must be very present in order to hear this call. Inspired action is important because it's the way that the universe steers you in the direction of your desire into situations that you might think are impossible, but in a very rational way. You might be manifesting to meet a celebrity that before you thought you could never do. You never in your wildest dreams did you believe that you could manifest meeting this person. But you've set your intention, you've let go, and now you've centered yourself to hear your inner guidance system and see if it gives you a command for a call to action. Then the universe opens all these doors for you, all these doors that you cannot see, but that exist in abundance. There are endless possibilities to get what you desire. We don't have the capability of knowing about these channels, these different opportunities, but we do have the capability of running into them accidentally and walking through them. So inspired action might lead you to join a contest, or go to the grocery store, or do something, go to another city, and suddenly you are faced with an opportunity to meet this person that you've been wanting to meet for so long. Some of you remember that when I was 20, I had this very frivolous desire to become friends with Drake, with the rapper Drake. I would tell myself that I'm going to hang out with Drake before I'm 21. By the time I was 21, I got the opportunity to hang out with him 3 times, twice at his house, once at Justin Bieber's, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say since I signed a form. All 3 times, those opportunities came from a place that I would have never expected. And looking back, I got to that place by following inspired action. If you want to be able to hear what inspired action you should take, you need to get to a place of good communication with your inner and higher self. That means living in the present moment, practicing mindfulness, and just being very present. listen, be alert, focus on self-care and self-love. The better you are to yourself, the closer you will become to your higher self and your inner self. The more you're able to clear your mind, also, the more you'll be able to clearly understand these calls to action. Meditation is a great way to become closer to that inner self, that self of you, that part of you. It's you, but you who is connected to source and has knowledge beyond our current understanding. You don't need to meditate for hours. You don't need to go on retreats. You don't need to do anything crazy, but just practice mindfulness and being present, and maybe some breath work, focus on your breath, and work on establishing and connecting to that inner self. And thereby you'll create a strong communication system with your inner self. Pay attention to your thoughts during the day and your desires. Even a desire to go to a certain restaurant or go get ice cream or go buy toilet paper can be inspired action. Now, I know that some people might wonder if they can only get what they desire through taking inspired action. I'm going to give my opinion on this, but I have it on good authority that that is not the case. You don't absolutely have to take any action to get what you desire. And I know that people out there are gonna be like, well, that sounds crazy, but that's really how the law of attraction works. I think that inspired action is just something that is more believable to us, and our belief systems is what rules our reality and rules our world. We have been trained, programmed, and conditioned for so long, not just this lifetime, but in life after life, we've been programmed to believe that in order to receive something that we want, we must work for it. That's where inspired action comes in, because we believe we need to take action. Inspired action will allow you to manifest more efficiently and faster. Whatever you want is going to come to you one way or another. It is yours by law, as long as you're not stopping it energetically with resistances and blockages. To support this belief that I have, I draw on this study that was made on athletes. They had 3 groups of athletes, and one of the groups was supposed to visualize practicing every day for a month, while another group actually practiced every day for a month. And it showed that there was improvement in both of these groups of people in their athletic performance, almost exactly the same amount of improvement. In this group, the group that visualized did not do any athletic training during this month. So that's just visualizing and just thinking with your mind can make things happen. However, we believe in action, so inspired action is very real and very powerful, and I highly recommend taking inspired action. I do myself. I don't create just by thinking, I take inspired action. So this is a bit funny, but if you're a Harry Potter buff like myself, this is how I see inspired action taking place and working. So remember when Harry took the vial of Felix Felicis, it's called Felicis, or liquid luck, and he suddenly had a random urge to go to the herbology lab, and then he suddenly had an urge to go see Hagrid. Couldn't explain where these urges came from, but he followed them and they led him to his greater good. This is exactly the same thing as inspired action. This is how inspired action works. You listen to your gut to steer you, follow those impulses, and they ultimately lead you to receiving what it is that you've been trying to manifest. So a good little trick that I've come up with that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to come up with I'm going to create my own elixir, my own liquid luck. This might simply serve as a placebo, but placebos work because the power of our brain works. It really does work. Just come up with some sort of wellness elixir and drink it in the morning. Think of it as liquid luck. This liquid luck will allow you to be better guided by your higher self, your inner self, and to listen to your inner guidance system. And pay attention to your emotions. That's how your inner guidance system lets you know if you're hot or cold on the path of your desires. So overall, ask for whatever it is that you desire. Give thanks for having it. Know deep down that it's already yours. Let go, focus on other things, and stay present and mindful in case a call for inspired action comes along. You feel like texting somebody randomly? Text them and make plans to see them. You remembered something in your past that you hadn't thought about in years? Try to think about why that may have come up in this particular day, how it relates to anything that you're trying to manifest. Try to see what it could mean. Follow the breadcrumbs. So that's it for me today about inspired action. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I really enjoy the concept of inspired action. It reminds me how much control I have over my life. I try to listen to my inner guidance system as often as possible. A good way to practice listening to yourself is to make decisions by yourself. And this could be as small as just choosing what to eat every day for lunch and not asking anybody else for their opinion. Literally start small and just build up with making decisions for yourself. And that's it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. As always, until my next video, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.